I'd like to welcome everyone here to the City Council meeting this evening and ask that everyone join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and then follow and remain standing for our invocation, who will be led by Pastor Sandy Seba. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, we're so thankful to be here with these fine folks. And as they make decisions for our city, God bless them. Help them. Give them wisdom they need to have. We thank you for those that are so willing to serve their labor of love. We ask again that you'll bless this meeting tonight that they have and all that they do for this city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
You and I back.
Sentence. It's like, what? It's terrible.
Where are they putting that money in the budget?
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Thank you all very much, and we'll move right along to agenda item number 1, which are citizens' concerns about items not on tonight's agenda. Seeing none, we'll move right along to our consent agenda. The consent agenda this evening includes the minutes of the July 10th City Council meeting, minutes of the July 17th special budget meeting, claims for city operation, Public Housing Authority claims, and appointments to boards and commissions. I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Seconded. Anything to pull from city staff? Audience? Council members? Questions? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed by unanimous acclamation. On to agenda item number 7, they approve the notice of the budget hearing and schedule public hearing for adoption of the 2018 budget. Staff.
Tilly LaPlante, Finance Director. This is to approve a budget hearing, and the notice is in front of you. This sets the maximum limit for expenditures and the maximum tax dollars. Once this is approved tonight, there'll be a hearing on August 14th to approve the budget.
Very good. Thank you. Anything else? Anything from the citizens? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the budget hearing notice and schedule the public hearing for the 2017 budget amendments and the 2018 budget for Monday, August 14th, 2017.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, concerns, comments? Starting down here, no? Sir? Nothing. Very good. Moving right along. Vote, please.
Cooper?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Stevens?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Hurley?
Yes.
Very good. On to item number 8, the resolution to adopt a city logo and seal. Exciting. Staff?
Mayor McCullough, City Clerk. Attached to the resolution, you'll see the designs for the city logo. We are keeping the current city logo and would like to keep it as the official city seal for documents and official paperwork. The city logo is what would be used for marketing and put out there for the public, and that can be or will be edited to, instead of it saying Kansas for everyone, that's where the department will be listed. So it'll be a unified look throughout the city. We had a local graphic designer work on the design of that.
Who did that?
Graphic design.
That's the name of the company?
And so it might say City of Bonner Springs Public Works, City of Bonner Springs City Clerk, City of Bonner Springs Mayor. It might.
Is it mayor? City clerk?
Mayor, City. Very good.
On your black car?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Nothing, no other concerns from the citizens. I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the addition of 7 properties of the 27.
No, back up
Turn
one.
back to pages.
Hey, where we go? Oh, yes, 8. That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
Not that any of us have ever done that.
He doesn't listen to himself when he's reading it.
Well, it's kind of lonely down at this end. So, make a motion to approve the resolution adopting the city logo and city seal.
Second.
Made and seconded. We'll start down here. Any questions, concerns, comments?
Anybody else think it looks like candy corn? Just throwing that out there.
It's
First
not.
thing I saw.
I love candy corn.
Was there any other, who decided this was going to be the one?
We had a small group, Betsy Smith with tourism, and then Amber and myself worked with Janet Crouch is the proprietor.
That's what I probably thought. Was there any others?
Versions of this, yeah, we worked through several different versions. The intent was to try to incorporate the sunflower sort of theme that exists with the current logo and soon-to-be seal, and then also have the Bonner Springs High School colors come through with that. Of course, the intent being just a uniform sort of logo and look for the city.
Great. Good.
Cool.
No other questions, concerns, comments? Vote, please.
Shannon?
Yes.
Stevens?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Burley?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Now, on to item number 9, change order concerning the 2017 mowing services.
Don't we already have a motion on the floor for that?
I like the second
Have a motion.
half motion.
Staff.
Good evening, Mayor.
Yes.
Council. Rick Seiler, Public Works Director. This item pertains to an addition of 7 properties that we'd like to add to the existing contract we have with Supreme Green Landworks. Estimated cost is $43.60 for the rest of this year, and includes about 6.2 additional acres of various sites around the city.
Very good.
Questions, be glad to answer.
Very good. Thank you. Nothing to add?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We'll go ahead and I would entertain a motion first.
I'll make a motion to accept the Wesley Phase 3. Oh, no, excuse me.
Okay. Made and seconded, or are you?
Who's making the motion?
second.
You second. Okay. It's been made and seconded. Now, sir.
Rick, I know we've had, I can't think of his name right now, the cemetery that's been mowing. How
Jeff Harris.
come we're, I'm assuming, pulling him away from mowing and having this group mow? And I was kind of curious as to why. Or am I,
Talking about Jeff, the sexton up at the...
well, yeah, who's ever this sexton up there, right, Jeff?
Jeff's actually been able to spend more time doing other things. There's more involved in the cemetery than mowing, and a lot of things that he were assigned to do in the past, he really hasn't had time to do. So some of those issues he's been helping out. Like this week right now, he's helping out on some of the storm cleanup. So Jeff does get involved, but we've got him mowing some other city properties like 1 day a week, but the other 4 days a week, he's pretty much working at the cemetery on other tasks up there.
Okay. I just,
And this, we're not adding a cemetery here, right?
No, these are...
Yeah, these are other.
Additional properties, various properties along the right-of-ways that are easily mowed by a contractor. We still handle, the Public Works Department is still handling the large road, right-of-way properties and the roadside vegetation management stuff.
I would,
Does this-
I'd like to say they're doing a good job mowing that cemetery.
Good.
I think it looks, and they really get in there and they can knock it out.
Does this 41,625 include the cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay. And the other 14 various sites? Okay.
So at what
We're
point,
going about 20 acres of our 100 acres right now through contract. So the contract's about 20%, 20-30% of what we're actually responsible to take care of.
so at
City
what
has about
point
100.
does the contract, because this looks like it is easily a salary and equipment. So at what point does that balance come out to where we would hire someone to do that as a city employee? Or 2 people or whatever it would take? How many people are the contractors using to accomplish this? I guess that's my question.
Well, some of the issues with mowing is it's somewhat seasonal.
Right.
So that's some of the crux of the issue, that in order for us to hire staff, it's about $25,000 to $30,000 for a staff person. And right now, as you mentioned, up at the cemetery, I think they come in with 3 to 4 people.
Yeah.
Jeff told me, and they
I've
knock
seen
it
it.
out in a day, which used to take us 4 days with one person. So
That's what I wanted to hear, okay.
there's an equation factor there.
Right.
It's not unheard of to contract out some work. I mean, I guess I take pride in what we do and what we try to do, and I guess I always presume that contractor's always making money.
Yeah.
The city doesn't. So at the end of the road, the city's got some expenses as far as maintaining personnel with benefits and things like that, but at the end of the day, we're not trying to make 30% profit on what we're doing. And that's the trade-off sometimes. The quality of work. They've been Supreme Green, we've been pretty happy with them. Jeff had some issues, they were missing some spots, and he talked to them, and they're going a little quicker than what he'd like sometimes. They're maybe not doing quite the quality of work that he felt that we were doing. So some of those things just got to get worked out.
And one thing I might add to it earlier, but this allows us to do other things beyond just cutting grass. That would take us several days to do. We're now freeing up time for our public works staff to work on roads.
Right.
And other things that are a bit more perhaps high priority. But we all know that when grass gets out of control, that becomes a high priority. So this is a win from several different.
I knew there was definitely an equation, I just wasn't sure what it was.
And
We've got such a large population of retired people looking for work, and it's a seasonal job. I'm thinking maybe that's an option.
Also-
The way you put it out,
And
it's
one of
yes
the
and
things
no.
Sean mentioned, we are doing more. I mean, the roadside vegetation, we weren't doing it all over the last few years, and that takes a lot of time also, and it's running similar equipment, but we're trying to get the roadsides looking better, which takes time. And
Lots of cemeteries contract out their maintenance and mowing. One of the factors that seems to be one of the things that seem to be a factor in that is the faster they go, the more likelihood they have of damaging headstones. So it's often a trade-off. Do they want to go fast and repair stones, or do they want to control, in and around the headstones? So that's one of the things Jeff will have to watch also, and because they'd be responsible for any damage that they do, I would imagine. I hope our contract puts that responsibility on them. The city is responsible if we damage one with a backhoe, so that's usually the give and take. Also, the reason I asked about the 41,625, the contractual services for mowing for the cemetery was $40,000. So we need to make sure that's not over burdensome on the cemetery budget.
you mean in 2018?
Uh-huh.
Yes, Green gave us a good price. I mentioned that before. We had 3 other bids on doing that cemetery, and they were quite
Good. Well, they're hometown.
Again next year.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, they're hometown, so.
Yeah, that's good
they're
too.
local, and that's a big part of it. They want to work for the city. We've done some other work. Matt's had to do some other small projects and stuff, so they seem to be very responsive, and we've been happy.
Very good. Other questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, vote please.
Shannon?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Sterling?
Yes.
Stevens?
Yes.
On to item number 10, the West Link Phase 3 project acceptance.
I have that one also, Excited Public Works. This is just an acceptance of the Westlink Project Phase 3. It's about $49,287 in public infrastructure projects completed. It included actually some very small sections of water line for fire hydrants mainly. adding an extension of the existing sanitary sewer pipeline system. It was inspected by our contractor that we used to inspect public infrastructure. We recommend acceptance of the project from a capital infrastructure point of view.
Very good. Thank you very much. Anything else? Citizens, to entertain a motion?
Mr.
Mayor, I make a motion to accept the Westlink Phase 3 water and sanitary sewer publicly funded project as completed and acknowledge the new infrastructure as public improvements in the total amount of $49,287.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, concerns, comments from the council?
Nothing additional.
Vote, please.
Thompson?
Yes.
Hooper?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Bannon?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Rolling along to item number 11, final payment and project acceptance to Sheets Construction for a PRV valve. Staff.
Rick Singing, Rich Seiler, Public Works. This is the final payment to Sheets for a combined PRV project. We actually put the 126th Street and 134th Street projects together for construction purposes. The work has been finalized, those PRVs are online, and if you remember, there was a small change order that we had brought back to council prior, which was approved. The final payment is $52,125.19. Total project cost was around $107,607.72.
Very good. Thank you very much. Nothing else to add. Citizens, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve final payment to Sheets Construction in the amount of $52,125.19 for the construction and installation of the 126th Street and the 134th Street PRV project, and accept the capital improvement project in the amount of $107,607.72.
Second.
Very good. Questions, concerns, comments?
I guess they're spring-proof now?
There was.
Spring-proof?
Oh, yes.
That was our change orders, yeah.
Dry vaults, yes.
There we go. Nothing else further.
Sir? Name? Vote, please.
Davis?
Yes.
Bannon?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Hooper?
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to our city manager's report.
Thank you. This report that was in the packet, somewhat reads in the events calendar. I won't go over it all, but needless to say, there are a lot of events coming up in the month of August. One of particular importance is obviously Tidlow Days. That has been changed from prior years. It will be starting on August 17th, Thursday, and then running through that Saturday. I'm sure the mayor will allude to it as well, but the mayor's is on the 18th of that day. I also want to note that we will be meeting with the Chamber of Commerce city staff later on this week to go over the preparations for that event, making sure everything is squared away before the big days. I also want to touch on, as we all probably know, that the city experienced a somewhat unknown storm system that lived through over the weekend. I just want to take the opportunity to thank the city staff, the police, the fire, the public works, utilities department that worked throughout the night on Saturday to ensure that the roads were open, as well as some private get electricity up. We did have some street closures and some electrical outages. I think as of right now, I believe there are one or two homes that are out. Electricity, Westar just cleared the last home that was without power about 45 minutes ago. Information went out Sunday morning for people to, information about how they can dispose of any tree branches or limbs as a result of the storm. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. We sent out through our various social media outlets in hopes of reaching people with how they can dispose of that. All in all, as of a few hours ago, that information had reached about 11,000 people through, namely, Facebook. I just want to reiterate the importance to share that information beyond just the social media reach that happens organically when people start to see other people cleaning up and word spreads by so quickly. Again, just underscoring the importance of signing up for those types of information sharing on our Facebook. Also, we are continuing to work with the unified government to increase our presence through the 311 system, which is a non-emergency response system that the unified government has offered for some time to ensure that we're integrated into that county system as best as we can be. And then also wanted to briefly touch on the Riverview street closure. We will be having a bid opening at the beginning of August. There are some things that need to happen between now and then, namely some easements that have to be right-of-way actually that needs to be acquired to make that bridge possible. So we'll be working with those property owners in that area to finish that up. The hope is that we'll commence work later on this fall. It'll be about a 60-day construction time frame. When this comes back to you all in terms of the award or the bid, we'll likely have to issue temporary notes as the expenditure is quite significant. But more information will come on that. If you have any particular questions, feel free to see me at any point in time. But beyond that, happy to answer any questions. That concludes my report.
Pretty good. City Hall suffered some damage over the weekend?
That's correct. There, if you came in from the western side of City Hall, you'll notice that the roof was removed, at least the membrane portion. It exposed, unfortunately, some rather worrisome issues. The net result of that is that we have some relocations that are ultimately going to have to happen as a result of that storm. We also had some damages up at the community center with an HVAC unit that was blown over and some damage up to the pool as well to that roofing system. So unfortunately, the city as an organization was also impacted by the storm beyond just the cleanup efforts that are underway by City.
Very good. Well, that's how it happens. I appreciate your attention to all those details, and hope everything will work out for the best. The survey for the city's assets and the information we're going to have, when's that coming back to us?
The meeting comes at an apt time as we start to unearth some of the unfortunate issues with some of these facilities that we have. The city will be hosting a meeting on August the 10th to discuss options to move forward with what we're calling a government services center, what's probably more simply called a City Hall and Police Department. As you all probably recall, the police department was relocated up to the fire station because of some significant issues at those two facilities. So again, I think this underscores somewhat of the need to start to look at what we can do to correct these deficiencies.
And that's going to be August 10th at the high school. We'll have a meeting, our first meeting will be in August at about the, what?
14th.
So we don't have a meeting before that in August? Second Monday is the 13th? 14th. So is there any other additional information that we'll need prior to that?
No, there was, postcards went out to the mailing addresses in the city of Bonner Springs, just talking about that forum, and encouraging people to attend. Beyond that, I've shared information as best as we can. I would just happily ask that you all share that to your constituents in your ward to take part in that effort to identify what the best course or solution is to unfortunate.
We needed it last week.
Very good.
Sean,
Oh,
my question, you said there's going to be some relocations from where the damage is. Where are we relocating them people?
Well,
To
right
here?
now, it's,
Just from one side of the building to the other, or?
there's a portion of it, we're going to try to squeeze some people into an already cramped front office. We're also going to likely look to relocate some of the building services as well as the planning functions to the Public Works facility for the time being, as there are really no other options in terms of them going.
There's no room at the fire department, huh?
I asked the chiefs, and they're certainly willing to accommodate. However, I think that they're just now getting into a comfortable state of mind.
Park them trucks outside.
we have some ceiling or roof issues to deal with up there too, so we, like I have said before, we have to maintain our current city structures that we have. We have to invest in them. It's not fun, but we have to continue to do that. So I appreciate that. Anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to ask on the debris cleanup, and I'd mentioned this earlier to Amber. I'm sure Public Works is going to be overwhelmed with the number of, the amount of debris is on the city streets waiting to be picked up. If we miss a street, miss a block, a neighborhood, will there be at some point in time, a notification that we're getting close to the end to allow people to call in if they still have debris out there? So we don't go for 2 weeks and they're still waiting for it to be picked up and we've already stopped.
Yeah, the notice right now is to try to get things all picked up in about 10 days, which puts us into the next week. As we get closer to the deadline, we'll resend just a notification letting people know that that deadline is approaching. There are other options of disposing tree limbs or branches or otherwise. You can take those directly to death and bomb. You can also take to the waste facility operated by the UG, or you can also dispose of those through your trash service. The intent with some of this is that we will go through methodically through each street and try to pick up. Inevitably, we'll likely have to make 1 or 2 additional trips just to make sure that we've gotten everything by the end of it.
Are they going to do it just in the regular 8-hour workday? Have we authorized any?
Covered overtime today.
Okay, so.
We've got some overtime out
That's further.
Very good. Sir, anything else?
Is it our portion now?
Yes, we started.
The Second Street, there's a water leak again up here where it's been patched before. Have you seen that? Right up here in front of.
Yep, right.
Yeah, right up here. It's been fixed before and it's leaking out of the ground again.
About halfway up this hill.
Yes, in front of about 309 maybe. Right there, yes. And on the HVAC, it's the second time it's blowed over up there on the school, up here on the community center. And the local people put that in, or we're going to try to make that so it doesn't happen again. I know the thing's pretty high profile. Would a screen wall around that help? A lot of,
Yeah, I visited with our building official, Mr. Hunt, this morning as we kind of surveyed some of the issues of the facilities. The intent would be to, given that this is the second time this
Yes.
to try to do something a little bit different with the footing there on how it's actually anchored to the roof. So we'll work through that with the contractor as we kind of get that squared away. But yeah,
Okay.
the hope is that it doesn't happen again.
Where is it? Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
and I just wonder about that. Well, also, and there's, everybody get out and vote next week. Vote for that mayor. That's a real important election. We got a primary for our unified government mayor CO that's maybe one of the most important ones in 20 years. So,
Pretty good.
get out. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
I just want to say thank you. The social media response to the storm was great. I had the information I needed before I realized I needed it, so I was able to share it with the world. And invite everybody to come to the last city band concert of the season this Thursday. You don't know what you're missing if you've not been down there.
Good time.
That's right.
It's going to be cool weather.
Don't let the jokes keep you away. Sir.
I want to just ditto everybody's comments on this cleanup. You know, a lot of people out there are saying thank you about that, and I want to pass that on back to the staff. There's a lot of people that are short on resources to get, there's a lot of wood on the ground, and they're short on resources, and they're doing good just to get it to the curb, and it's hot out there, the humidity, and people are tongues dragging at the end of the day, and so it's huge, this stuff being picked up. Thank you.
Same thing, is our staff, fire, police, ambulance. Unbelievable what they did. Number one, I think we'll keep everybody here. Really appreciate all the hard work and everything. Response from a lot of the families in our town has been great, so.
Mr. Mayor, I might mention one more thing about the cleanup. DHL did drop a package off the house tonight. I tried to get him to take some of it, but he wouldn't. So.
not
I
shipping
told
it
him we were
out.
giving it away free, so.
I did see somebody, it looked like they were picking up just the firewood portion of the cut wood on the side, and I thought, well, that's less that will go end up someplace else, so I was happy about that. But for the mayor's portions, I did want to start off tonight by complimenting Public Works. Those gentlemen, I don't know what time they responded, but they were out before I was, and putting out road closed barricades and with all the power lines down, and those people do excellent at their job, so I appreciate all they did. The fire department set a new record for responses in 24 hours. They now have a response of 21 in 24 hours responses. Their old record was 18. Those gentlemen volunteer their time to go out and help others. I greatly appreciate what they've done. As well as the police department and EMS. I don't have the numbers on their responses, but a disaster, I don't want to go to the extent of calling this a disaster, but it's pretty major when so many different places in Bonner Springs are affected with such extreme weather. And so I'm glad to see how well Bonner's responded. There have been some structures impacted to the extent they're not any longer usable. So make sure you reach out to your neighbors and your constituents and make every effort to comfort them in those difficult times. Northwest School, the preschool there, on Nakoni had a lot of roof damage also, and I don't know what the ultimate situation with that facility will be, but it was severely impacted, and with school starting just 2 weeks away, I don't know what their plan is, but I'll be reaching out to them. Hopefully everything they'll be able to accommodate with some of their other facilities in the interim, as we are. I also noticed there's a pretty significant water line break down there by Northwest School on Nakoni. It's been marked off and has a barrier in it or two, but it doesn't look like it's been fixed yet.
On Pratt and Nakoni?
Pratt and Nakoni.
Right we talked about that
We're
one.
not positive that's the water.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
Ooh, you might look at it again.
Spring in Bonner.
We've heard that before, though.
Well, then you better bring Betsy into the loop, because it could be a tourist attraction then if it's a spring. But barring that, it appears as though it's getting more significant. How's that? So
It's springing up even.
springing up even more. So I wanted to make mention of that. The water line program or situation that we are planning to improve on Clark, Emerson, et cetera. What's this? What are we doing? What's the status of that?
The bid date is, I'll let Matt help a little bit. I mean, we're shooting for the end of this week. It might be next week before we can actually get that out the bid, but we're real close to getting that out.
And that bid is going to be what all's going to be in that? Replacing water line from?
Basically everything, well, the water line and the sidewalk will be combined. We're doing some prior stormwater work. We're doing inspections tomorrow, actually, on some pipelines. And we've got a couple of point repairs to do on sanitary sewer, but we'll have that done before the bids come back in. we just want to make sure when we get done with these streets, we're not back in there.
Right, and that's why I'm asking. So it's Emerson, Clark, and
Cornell.
Cornell and Shidley, and basically
Clark and Shidley.
from Morris to,
They vary a little bit. Cornell is from Morris to Spring. Emerson is from Morris to Murphy. Clark is from Morris to Murphy. And Shidley is from Murphy to Inslee.
okay.
Will this work be done this fall?
Absolutely.
Cool, because I've had people live over there.
And is it all going to be open trench and then replace, or are they going to shoot?
We'll allow boring, but we're putting all new service lines in. So either way, I imagine it'll be open trench.
I just wondered.
Just can't save enough money. They can bore in the main line, but they're still going to have to redig all the services.
All right, very good. We're anxiously awaiting that.
Really nice project.
Yeah, and then the road's right behind it, so appreciate that. And my last point, I want to remind everybody, not only the City Band concert, which is Thursday evening, but also coming up on August 4th is the seniors dinner, spaghetti dinner, all you can eat spaghetti dinner. I can guarantee it'll be the best spaghetti dinner served in Bonner Springs Friday, August 4th. And I really hope you will support the senior citizens and join me in having spaghetti for dinner that night.
At the church?
It is at the Bonner Springs Community Center from 4:30 to 7:30, and they have takeout available if necessary.
Does that include dessert?
Yes, it does include dessert. A wonderful dessert. One dessert.
That's what I want to get at, because there's so many you can't hardly chew.
We'll save you a second.
It says it. Yeah, it says it on the ticket.
Okay,
One
I want
dessert.
to clarify. I'll have to decide which one I want.
Other than that, you can come to the City Band and buy all kinds of desserts too, because they're delicious. No questions for me? We're adjourned.